Last week, Bob told us he stayed at Runtime for 5 years too long. Today, I want to dig deeper into why he stayed.
I think the really obvious thing was that we were able to stay in business. So we were cash flow positive-ish. And nobody got paid as much as they needed to, but it was enough to keep things going. And I think the bigger picture, which every startup founder always has to ask is, it's not, are we bringing in money, is, are we bringing in money that gets us to our next goal?
Cash flow positive-ish. Paul Graham called this ramen profitability. Just enough to keep the lights on and just enough to pay the bills. In the early days, that's a positive signal. It means something is working. It's the data point that gets you to the next meeting, the next round, and the conviction to bet harder on one market segment. But if you're still there a few years later, that same signal starts to mean something else. You can keep a company running on ish for a long time. The question is whether you're a zombie company, surviving but already dead, or a cockroach company built to outlast almost anything. And from the inside, those two things almost are impossible to tell apart. Especially when the ish is what success looked like from the start.
I think the biggest sort of mental leap was thinking of it initially as hey, I'm in this to succeed. And I think that's the mindset that was most hurtful to me, because anything short of the next step is a failure.
This is the founder trap. You have to be optimistic. If you weren't, why do it all? But the same optimism warps your sense of where you are. Every milestone feels almost there. Every setback feels a personal failure. And the goalposts never stop moving, because you never decided where they were in the first place. When the only measure of success is keep going, there's no way to know if you're winning. You can't say, yes, this is working, because the top is always further out. So you keep going, not because things are good, but because they're not bad enough to stop. A lot of founders I've talked with never define what success actually looks like. They have a vision. This is how the world should be different, but no concrete answer to when do we know this is working and when do we know it's not.
And so without understanding that, we didn't know what to measure, how we should be staffed, how we should be structured, who should we be talking about money if we needed to, or even if we should keep going.
They didn't know what to measure because they never decided what winning looked like. So every quarter became just another quarter. Every ish became another reason to hold on a little longer.
The biggest one, I think, is just this overwhelming sense of failure. I'm smart, I'm capable, I've done a lot of things. I couldn't make this work.
I felt this with Bunny. We were capable. If anyone was going to figure out the fertility space, I believed it was us. So when we couldn't make it work, I took it personally. It wasn't just the company. It was the question of whether I was enough. Whether all the capability actually could count for something. For Bob, that feeling didn't come out when his company was failing. It came from when the company was surviving, just barely enough. For years, while a real question sat unanswered. What does winning actually look like? The ish feels like resilience from the inside. You're not a quitter, and maybe you're not. But sometimes the braver thing isn't staying because you can. It's defining what you're staying for. Before the 5 years goes by, and you still can't answer it. Next week, Chapter 2.3, The Consulting Trap. When clients are paying for a service and not your product, that can become a problem.